So we started off our day with a prayer down here, and I think it really helped. We went into Special Agent Nixon was still in direct examination. He is the agent investigating the Arizona area, the Arizona militias, and Greg Burleson. We start with Greg's Facebook post. And in one of his Facebook posts, he says to bring gas masks and prepare for attack dogs. He tells people to bring hot dogs and mace. There's a portion in there where they're showing these Facebook things that they've gotten, and they can see deleted messages and posts. So if you ever write something and delete it right away, it doesn't matter if it's there once, it's there always. This is really an eye-opener for Facebook and anyone's communication, because private messages, people's comments on your post, they're all being brought up as evidence inside the courtroom. And I'm not sure enough people understand exactly what that means and exactly the consequences and the outcome of this court case is going to do for every American. This is not just going to affect the 6 upstairs. This affects everyone. And so I think, sharing that information and look back on yourself and look back at your post and pull one out of context and see how somebody would respond to that. Because that's exactly what's going on upstairs. They've got a bunch of different photos people tagged Greg in. Those are being brought up. If you have people tagging you on stuff, they brought up the fact that you can untag yourself, but people haven't chosen to do so. There was a picture that they brought up, and it was a picture of the Cowboys, and there is one white horse without a rider. Not sure why they're bringing that up, but I thought that was interesting.
That wasn't where his body's back.
Okay, so then there's a picture of Greg in the bushes. There's another picture of Greg on one of the embankments under the bridge. He's got another gentleman sitting next to him. The guy identifies Greg in the courtroom. There was a comment where Greg is making a warning to the government post. That was not taken well by the jury at all, and they all started writing. A little bit after that, though, many of the jurors seemed bored. There was another post that he made where he was calling the Metros pussy cocksucking bitches. And I'm sorry, but the jury did not.
I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. The jury didn't seem to like that. He was also saying he was one of the men that pointed his gun at the Metro and says that they were pointing their weapons at men, women, and children. I think the jury took some of that as, the BLM were pointing their weapons at men, women, and children, but later on, he has a post where he says, if you arrest even one militia member, we will burn you to the ground, including your wives and children. The jury did not take well to that as well. They were all writing things down, so that was another one that was kind of iffy. He refers in one of his posts to people still needed at the ranch to build a garrison. They brought up what a garrison means. It's like an army. There was a lot of objections without the jury in the room yesterday, so that they don't see the objections to all these arguments today. That was the whole thing. They let the jury leave early yesterday, had all the objections go on at the end of the day, so that way today, as they're entering this stuff, the jury's not seeing all of these objections. So there was a few times that people stood up and did an extra objection here and there, but it's not their point. Then there's one of his posts where he talks about protesting is for pussies and refers to the Bundy Ranch as not a protest. This same individual also has Ammon Bundy's Facebook page search warrant, and they've got pictures coming in from that is tagged in. Ammon Bundy's tagged in. It doesn't even say that some of them are from Ammon Bundy. Another thing I want to point out here is that every picture you upload on Facebook from your phone, it shows exactly what phone, what locations and stuff that you're uploading those pictures from. So if you upload a picture and you tag someone in it, it's like it knows whose phone they uploaded it from, what time, where they were, all of that information. That's another thing to be aware of. If you take pictures with a camera and then upload it to your computer, it doesn't do that. And we've seen pictures both ways, and they actually go through the documentation underneath the pictures, and that's all pertinent information. Then this person goes into, because this person is also investigating the Arizona State Militia. So they go into a lot of Jason Woods and Micah McGuire. They identify them. They show them on the encampments. They show them in front of the stage. They mention AR-style assault rifles many times in court today. This FBI agent, what is he holding? Well, an AR-style assault rifle. And so that is brought up many times. Then we go into cross-examination. We've got Jackson, and he goes up and asked when he became connected with the investigation into the Bundy Ranch. And he says, and there's a lot of objections to when exactly he's talking about. He wants to go before the Bundy Ranch. They won't really allow him. So he says a few days prior to the 12th. He was to focus on militia extremism. He also says he can only investigate extremism, not just militia. He was only one part of his team that was investigating this. The prosecution is investigating to questions about how many were in his team and who his boss was. We did not find out who his boss was. He did not write any reports about the event before it happened, but it was brought out that he did pass on information that he knew lots of people who he was previously investigating were gathering together at the ranch. I think this has to do with the Arizona State Militia. But Greg was not a member of the Arizona State Militia at that time. He was a member of a one-man militia. And they brought up a lot of things about Greg's Facebook, but only 2 of them for prior to the 12th. So they went through a lot of Greg's posts, but most of them were after the 12th. And then he was asked if law enforcement had a number of informants, civilians, working for law enforcement. There was a lot of objections to this. They had to narrow it down from he tried citizens, he tried people, public. He had to eventually get non-law enforcement personnel. And yes, they had informants. Did they have informants on the internet? Yes. Did they post on Greg's Facebook account? He says he does not know. Because they're reading not just Greg's posts, but people's comments and people's posts to Greg. So they're bringing all of that up, and then they're saying, well, did you have informants that were trying to egg this information out? Well, he doesn't know. And then he says, well, it's possible, yes, I guess so, that informants could be posting to his account. Then it was brought up that people act or post differently when they are under stress. They can say things that they don't mean or that they wish at a later time that they didn't. Lots of objections, and then the judge gets upset with the prosecution because the prosecution is objecting so much the person can't answer even though it's overrun.
Everybody had a gun.
So then Leventhal gets up and brings up the fact that Drexler was never involved with the Arizona State Militia or their nickname. And then brings up Mark Kessler again. He knows the name, but he does not know if he is an informant. He does find out that this gentleman was an informant handler during this investigation, and that there were other agents that were informant handlers. What?
Did they explain what an informant handler is exactly?
No, so they should probably go into that. They're still in cross-examination, I believe. But, or no, they brought in another person, but they can do that later too. He was aware that other informants with other handlers were around, and that was the end of cross-examination. Then the government calls FBI Sarah Draper from Boise, Idaho. This is the lady that is involved with the Idaho people. She's also the lady that served the search warrant in our house. She had searched Eric's publicly available information on Facebook for his account, for Scott Drexler's account, for Stephen Stewart's account. We only got into Eric Parker's account upstairs before lunch. What they're doing with Eric Parker's Facebook account is they are showing that he shared news articles. So this is another part of this huge information. This is part of the war. If you share a news article, you are part of a conspiracy to share information. So welcome to communist China, because they, this is part of their controlling the narrative. If somebody writes a news article and you share it, and that's against what they're putting out there, then you're part of a conspiracy is what they're trying to push upstairs. I can tell you that the jury seemed to respond well to Eric's posts. They weren't writing for a lot of the time. It shows that he shared a post and did not make a comment on it. So it was just something that he read and shared. But they were able to read the title of these posts. One of them was, "Got a neighbor in trouble in Nevada. What are you going to do when shots are fired?" That was one of his actual texts. He does make that with a link. The link was Bundy Ranch, U.S. Feds going after last rancher standing. Another one, government assault, government terrorist attack at Bundy Ranch. Another one, citizens of the U.S. states fought the toughest battle in the army in the world in 1776, and we can do it again. Then he posts an article to a link that talks about fracking and the reason that they want the land from the Bundy Ranch. At that point, you see, and he didn't write any, he said, that's it, that's his text, that's it, and it shows the fracking information. And I saw a lot of the jury members writing stuff down now, and I'm thinking, maybe they disagree with fracking as well. Maybe, they're trying to lay that there's other reasons that they wanted this land. Then he does a YouTube video, wall post. Somebody else does a wall post to him. Pretty much at the end of it, he makes a post. And this is on the 12th at 3 p.m. We have cows, happy cows, free cows, raised in the open range and not in a cage. Again, you see some of the jury people writing this down. Do you think this is bad for us? No, it goes to show that he's out there, he cares about animal welfare, he cares about a lot of things, and it's not all just about taking over the government and going to forcefully do something. No further search warrant was done on his account after the July 2014. They did not bring up any personal messages or any other posts from his account. So in my eyes, nothing from his account was damning, and I think the jury took well to a lot of his news articles that he shared and some of the few comments that he did post. We go back in with Sarah still on the stand, and she's going to go into Stephen Stewart's Facebook post next, and then Scott Drexler's Facebook post after that. I'll give you more updates later.
So now the prosecution's talking about resting on Tuesday.
On the 20th, I believe, yes. So.
All right, thank you, Andrea.
Absolutely.
The court's probably going to end sometime in April.
I wasn't in there when that's what they said this morning, I guess. That it is going into April. Figure it out. So we ended with paper.
Let me know when you're ready, and you look like you're ready. Ready? Okay.
Are we all good?
3, 2, 1, 0. You're on.
All right. So we've got the end of day update. At the end of the day up there, the government is going to finish their case either Monday at the end of the day or early Tuesday, and the defense will be able to start. So that's kind of exciting to hear that we're to that point. When we went back in after lunch, Sarah Draper was still on the stand, and she was going into Drexler and Stewart's Facebook post. Before the jury was brought in, they brought up one comment made by Eric Parker because it was bragging. The government statement was part of the conspiracy to post his bragging and intent to keep the movement going. It was sustained but a good objection to raise. It was raised with
All right, good.
the fact that he brought up Steve's name in it. And it was also brought up that the conspiracy goes until Cliven gets arrested for Oregon. And they actually bring up, was that the time they brought up the Oregon case? Something about Drexler and Parker communicating with Ammon all the way up until the Oregon. And that goes to the conspiracy that they're facing inside as well. But they haven't brought any of that in.
So
but
trying to tie the two conspiracies
they're saying
together.
The conspiracy goes from the 12th. Well, and this is the confusing part is this. How many times have we been up there like the conspiracy, days before the conspiracy is included, but then when we try to bring in like Dave Bundy's arrest or Margaret Houston, they're like, no, that has no relevance. But days before the actual 12th is included in the conspiracy, all the way up till, who knows, even including today.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little, like you can't really understand what exactly they're saying there. Then there was a motion to sever from Burleson. The judge said there's no spillover effect or any violation, and the motion is denied. It will be re-raised again after Drexler goes through his Facebook posting, and that's when they talked about just because they didn't speak with each other does not mean they're not part of the conspiracy. And Drexler, Ammon, and Parker were communicating well up until their arrest, and then they bring up Burns. The thing is that Parker and Drexler didn't actually know Ammon or be in contact with Ammon until Burns, when there was like some small amount of communication.
When they brought up Oregon, did they bring it up in front of the jury?
No.
Okay,
The
so that was outside the jury.
Not in, yeah, the jury's still not in yet. So then we go back into Sarah Draper, and she brings up Drexler, and Drexler's is the exact same. Or what was it? 2 pages. They brought up 2 pages, and it was all sharing links. So it's sharing a YouTube link. He made a comment. He shared a link and then made a comment. Nice photo, Eric. She shares another link. Cliven Bundy celebrates win as BLM leave and cattle's released. And the text he left, but it looks like we may have to go back. Then there was some communication back and forth where one person said, careful, bridges are choke points. And he comes in and says that's why we use them to shut down the freeway. And that's all Drexler has on his Facebook altogether. Then we go into Stewart. Stewart, literally, it's just communications, talking about sick of, he's posting these articles, sick of this, SHIT, but it's like with asterisks, so it doesn't even say it. Heading to Nevada right now. When other people are asking because he's from Nevada, friends from Nevada are like, hey, are you still in town? He's like, guys, I only went for the weekend to help Cliven get his cattle back and then straight back home with 2 hours of sleep in between. On the morning of the 12th, how's it going? Slow, confusion. That's his only post. Then my name's brought up in court because apparently I commented hell yeah on one of Stephen Stewart's posts. And so I am officially an unindicted co-conspirator for saying hell yes on Facebook. Was the 15th of April 2014. I think they just wanted to bring me up in court possibly. He shares another one with the text bullshit. I feel like crap that I'm not on my way already. And then he brings up the First Amendment sign. Where did these signs come from? Do we still live in America? Basically nothing on his Facebook is damning to them. It's just basically saying that he's reading these articles, he's upset about what's going on, and he's going down. Then they bring in a video that Stephen Stewart made as the BLM were leaving. And he commentates it, goodbye, bye-bye. I don't think he uses very many cuss words. You can see down the line there are people that are flipping them off as they go by. And here goes another one. And here goes the BLM Incident Command Center, those vehicles that, he's like, why does the BLM need an incident command vehicle? And they're going by, and that's it. Another one was, he said, these people think they own us, and it was a post about a judge that's been in office. I don't know what I never read that actual post. I'm not sure, but I know that it's the judge's name whose courthouse it is named after. I'm not sure what that had to do with anything. Then we go into cross-examination. Tomasi gets up and says Steve lives in Idaho, not Arizona or Montana, because they're talking to Sarah Draper. They talk about how on the Facebook account, the first mention of the Bundy Ranch is on the 10th. They travel on the 11th. They get there. They're less than a day. So they're trying to break this conspiracy down right there. He makes a post where he says, I don't watch TV or news. I only hear about the stuff that I see on here, saying that he gets most of his news from Facebook. They tried to ask a question. They said objection, hearsay. She was aware of the First Amendment zone in Bunkerville. And then the video of Stewart, he was brought up, and he's like, could you say Stewart was being a wise ass or cracking jokes in the video, or that he sounded violent at the time? And she had to come in and say, well, if you're just giving me those two choices, I would say the wise crap. And then he stated in the video that they were going to use gas on them. And then he stated, we continue to push forward. But if they had used gas on us, would have been martyrs. And so they brought that up, saying that, he says that they would be martyrs, not we're going to shoot and kill everyone. So there again is another way that they're trying to twist words. So they asked, did you see at anywhere in his Facebook if he had threatened anyone? And the answer was no. They brought up the post and talking to his mother, because they brought up his mother in a different post, and that brought tears to Steve's eyes, and I think that the jury saw that, and that was good. Yeah, he said thanks Mom, or I love you Mommy, and so I don't even know why they enter that, but okay. Jess went up and asked about how he drafted the search warrants to look into Eric Parker. Also, that his first post was made on the 10th about it, and it was sharing news articles and links. On the 11th, he's making this decision to go and talking about a route to be taken. Talking about martial law decided in Bunkerville, Nevada, government assaults on citizens. These are the links that they're showing. Another link shares armed feds are surrounding my farm. Then they talk about if he heard Mr. Parker's arrest interview. And they bring up again that Clark County officials say Bundy Ranch supporters better have funeral money and body bags. And then they bring up that they were all in Bunkerville less than 24 hours. And that they did not see in the video anyone throwing rocks or pointing guns, because all the police and everyone have come in and said, as the BLM were leaving, everyone was throwing rocks, throwing things at their cars, and pointed at the caravan the entire way. Here's a video of the caravan leaving. There's not a gun in sight that you see. And if you do, it's on someone's back. Leventhal is talking about when they started the investigation. There was objection to that, and it was moved on. The scope was limited to dates, so it was limited from March and until July. So that's the amount of stuff that she could see on their Facebook. She only had other access to their Facebook that was public. That Drexler had 2 pages, not very much, and it was just sharing news articles. Then they bring up that they're not on in the Arizona Guard. They're not, and they've got a photo of them in uniform. They say, here's these guys, and they have Mac camera, they have these patches, they have the radios, they have the insignia, and they're part of the militia, because that's what they keep bringing up. And they bring up the picture of Eric, Steve, and Scott, and they say, can you show me if he has, and they are wearing uniforms, they have patches, they have radios. Obviously, you could say they're not part of that one. So I think that was huge. Then the government calls Bridget Pappas. She is a civilian who works with the FBI. She went through news media sources recorded things and put it on a disc for the FBI. Let's see. She works in public affairs, scheduling appointments and dealing with the media and how the FBI is viewed by the media. So she's familiar with the media, and so basically now what we're seeing is they're taking media clips, like news clips, and trying to bring that into evidence. So once again, what does the media do? We all know what the media does. The media takes stuff, they have an agenda, they're pushing their agenda with what they show you, they cut it up, they do all this stuff. How is this coming in as evidence? And how can you bring some girl from Washington, D.C. that views it and then saves it, and that's the person that authenticates this? Like, it's unimaginable how they're getting away with this. Then they don't even admit it. They're going to admit it with a later on witness. Jackson asked that he wants to keep her on the subpoena so that he can later recall her. They're arguing she lives far away, she needs to be gone. You know, they're trying to get away with something. So Jackson's like, I'll go up and cross-examine her, even though we haven't even seen the footage what they're going to get. So for affairs, what did she deal directly with the media personnel when she was gathering the evidence? No. Does she know who made or prepared them? No. Were you told to collect all media, local and national, that pretended to the Gold Butte Bundy Ranch? And what criteria did she use when selecting the data that she kept or passed on? She said she was looking for images with armed people, law enforcement, protesters, and any interviews. They were asked, did you look in foreign media? No. Did you limit it to local or major news lines? Yes. The FBI subscribes to some media service that they're using to get this. Then Leventhal goes up, because if Jackson's going to go up, might as well Leventhal. How many media news coverages did you get? She said hundreds. How did you choose the pertinent info? And she said, well, she didn't take things that were double, like some, like, you know, one media will put something out and then everyone grabs it and does a copy of it. So she tried to find the originals, what she's trying to say. And then you had handed all of it over to one FBI agent. So already this seems like we've got things that are being signed in Texas when they should have been signed in California. We've got people that have no oversight, it seems like. You know, you've got one person collecting media stuff, giving it to one FBI agent. I don't know how the FBI works, but there's supposed to be checks and balances with our government, right? So I'm not seeing the checks and balances. Then she was asked if she saved them all, and she said between 50 to 75 that she did the FBI. She did not search YouTube, and she did not recall if she saw the Kelly files. She got the entire story on the Bundy Ranch, but would not collect the additional stories off of the news. After that, Leventhal is arguing that the FBI and the government did not collect all of the media files and hand them all over in the discovery. Myrie gets up and says, yes, we did, and it was kind of left there. So we don't know if everything they've collected, because Leventhal was asking, well, how many? And he's like, well, you have 60 plus in your discovery. So here, it's continuing to become very apparent that they're one-sided. They're looking for facts that prove their case. They're not looking for the facts. They're looking for facts that prove their case, not the facts. We're using media coverage as evidence. We're using photographs that cannot be authenticated by the person that took them. We're using things that are found off Facebook, and we all know, like, who edits their photos and does Photoshop to put things on Facebook. A lot of people do. And they're literally pulling photos off of Facebook and putting them in as evidence. Not to mention the guy that was looking at the photos off Facebook had Photoshop things on his computer screenshot when he screenshotted his computer. He had 2 different Photoshop applications open. So what we have here is looking like a giant conspiracy, and it's a conspiracy the government is trying against these people. That's all I got.
Great job. So what are we looking at Monday? Monday
at 8:30. I think we're starting at 8:30 from now on. Hopefully the government will rest their case on Monday night, or it could be Tuesday sometime, depending. And I'm hearing that we're also going to go into the longbow. They are going to get into the longbow. They're not going to play all of on. We're going to play little experts. The evidence that she viewed, because we sat in there while she watched the media, and she authenticated them, and then they didn't enter them. So there's going to be some screenshots from those that'll be entered as well. But it sounds like they're wrapping up their case, and they will be done Monday or Tuesday.
Talking to the attorney earlier today, it sounded like they're going to take a week off before, possibly before Easter as well. Right?
If you heard that, I've been dying to find out information.